Hey everybody, Brickhouse here, and Sound of Freedom just keeps rolling along like the little engine that could. It's taken on these big blockbusters out of Hollywood and just trounced them. And I've said this in other videos, and I'll say it in this one. If you have not seen Sound of Freedom, what the hell are you waiting for? Go see it. Pay it forward. Buy a couple tickets. If this movie doesn't move you, I honestly don't know what will. But came across this from Hollywood and Toto, from Christian Toto. Sound of Freedom is outgrossing Hollywood's biggest films. The Flash, that was a bomb. Fast X didn't do too well. Mission Impossible surprisingly didn't do too well. Guess what could be next? Barbie is the story of the summer movie season, but Sound of Freedom is a close second. Now, I would actually flip those. Barbie was expected to be where it's at. Sound of Freedom was not. Barbie had a $200 million plus budget. Sound of Freedom had a $14.5 million plus budget. So, I'd say Sound of Freedom is the story of the summer movie season. The indie film's stunning box office haul caught everyone by surprise. How could a film about child sex trafficking outgross movies with 10 times its budget and more? Not only is it the ultimate case of counter-programming, but Sound of Freedom comes from a renegade company's second theatrical release. Count them, 2 films. Angel Studios is not Disney, Warner, Discovery, or Sony. Yet it's still outmaneuvered films with a far bigger budget en route to its $150 million box office tally. And it's still growing. Keep in mind, this movie has not been released outside of the United States as of yet. It's going to be here, I think, starting this weekend, possibly, if I remember correctly from what I read. Here's the list of the 2023 Hollywood blockbusters beaten by Sound of Freedom so far. Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. I think Mission Impossible, I think it was put in a bad spot. This movie should have done better. I think it was put in a bad spot. The Flash, not a surprise. Shazam, not a surprise. Fast 10 or Fast X, okay, a little bit of surprise. Elemental, not a surprise. Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves, not a surprise. At least that's my opinion. Sound of Freedom should overtake Transformers: Rise of the Beasts by the weekend, if not earlier. Currently, Rise of the Beasts is $156 million. Sound of Freedom is about $153.5. So, I think it'll get there. That's happening in part because Freedom keeps upping its number of screens. Theaters will have more showings to keep up with the audience demand. Sound of Freedom theater counts by week, according to Angel Studios. Remember, this opened on the 4th of July. 2,600 theaters. July 7th, 2,800. July 14th, 32. July 21st, 32. Almost 33. July 28th, 34. What can I say? Sound of Freedom won't catch up to Barbenheimer. Both Barbie and Oppenheimer are printing money with little sign of slowing down. I saw Oppenheimer. I thought it was excellent for what it is. I know it's got kind of a niche audience, being a 3-hour-long, basically docudrama that's rated R. But that's another one that if you have the chance to go see it, go see it. Sound of Freedom won't catch up with Barbenheimer. The indie film could still pass what many considered the most anticipated film of the summer, Indiana Jones and the Dial of the Insufferable Feminist, which stalled at $167 million. I would just absolutely love it if Sound of Freedom passes Indiana Jones. I think that would be a fitting end to the summer. The irony is worthy of a feature film itself. Disney bought the Indiana Jones franchise in 2012 and put all of its marketing might behind the fifth and presumably final film in the saga. Disney also owned Sound of Freedom following its acquisition from 20th Century Fox in 2019, but shelved it. They didn't want to release it. They didn't want it out until the filmmaker behind it, Alejandro Monteverde, and Angel Studios reacquired it. Dial of Destiny will cost Disney millions, while an upstart film studio reaps the rewards. That is right. This film is making money hand over fist, while movies like Indiana Jones are losing Disney somewhere in the neighborhood of 200 to 300 million. So that's all I have for right now, folks. Please, if you would, take the time to comment, share your opinion. Have you seen Sound of Freedom? Have you not seen Sound of Freedom? Let me know in the comments down below. While you're at it, please take the time to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell to get notified when my content goes live here on YouTube. And as always, thank you for taking the time to watch, the time to tune in, and I will see you later.